Welcome to this explainer on market dynamics, producers, consumers, and you. When most of us hear the word economics, we instantly picture like giant, dense textbooks or those chaotic trading floors on Wall Street. But honestly, the reality is so much closer to home. You aren't just sitting back watching the economy happen, you are actively shaping it. It's this massive, dynamic puzzle, and you're a piece of it every single day.
I mean, just think about the chair you're sitting on right this second. Who designed that? Who actually went out and sourced the wood or the metal? Who put it all together? And how in the world did it finally end up right there in your room?
Well, it all points to one absolutely crucial takeaway. The economy is driven by the decisions you make every single day. From the crazy complex agricultural supply chains that grew the beans for your morning coffee, to the global tech assembly lines that built the phone in your hand, these everyday things represent a massive, interconnected system. And you're a vital player in the whole shebang.
Okay, let's dive into this. Playing your part, producers and consumers. So, the whole economic landscape basically divides into two distinct but super dependent camps. On one side, we've got producers. They're the ones creating the supply. That could be your local baker waking up at 4 a.m. to make fresh bread, or a massive global car company building thousands of vehicles. On the flip side, we have consumers. They act as the demand, actually going out to buy and use all those goods and services. And ultimately, a consumer is just anyone who buys or uses goods and services. That's you. Every single time you stream a movie, grab a snack at the corner store, or pay for a rideshare, you are stepping squarely into this role. You are literally generating the demand that tells the whole market how to behave.
But here's the cool part. In our modern economy, most adults are constantly switching hats between these two roles. You produce value and earn a paycheck at your job, right? And then you immediately pivot, turn into a consumer, and spend that hard-earned cash on the stuff you need and want. It's this continuous dynamic cycle that keeps the entire economic engine humming along.
Now let's look at the engine driving all of this, the catalyst, the power of competition.
Imagine for a second a scenario where literally only one store in your entire city sold something you really wanted. Let's say chocolate bars. Since they're the only game in town, they hold all the pricing power. They could charge whatever they want, and they have zero incentive to make the chocolate taste better or fix the wrappers. Why would they? You have nowhere else to go.
But if we shift that dynamic, say suddenly 5 different stores open up selling the exact same chocolate bar, boom, you've got competition. The whole game changes. Suddenly, all that pricing power shifts directly away from the store owner and right back into your hands as the buyer.
This is the magic of competition, and it's incredibly beneficial for us buyers. It primarily drives 3 huge things: lower prices, way better overall quality, and a much wider variety of choices. When multiple sellers actually have to fight for your hard-earned dollars, they're forced to innovate. They have to offer you better deals instead of just arbitrarily jacking up the prices.
Because of this competitive heat, producers actually have to work a lot harder just to attract you. Whether you're walking through a really busy weekend farmer's market trying to pick the best apples or looking at the global tech sector for a new laptop, competition forces suppliers to get their act together, operate efficiently, and step up their game to win your business.
Let's move on and see how this builds. Zooming out, understanding market structures. So, as you can guess, competition scales a bit differently depending on the industry we're looking at. If you have a highly saturated market with a ton of sellers, like kids running neighborhood lemonade stands, those sellers have almost zero power to set high prices. Now, markets with just a few dominant players, like your big phone companies, well, they retain quite a bit more control. And at the far extreme, that's a market with literally just one seller, like your local electric or water company. That single seller structure is what we call a monopoly. And because there are no natural market forces, no competition to keep those prices down or force the quality up, these structures almost always require some kind of government regulation. They step in to ensure fair pricing and make sure buyers like us are actually protected. Now, let's jump back to those markets with just a few major players. They often rely on something called non-price competition. Instead of just slashing prices in a race to the bottom, they try to stand out by offering, premium quality, exceptional customer service, or really cool innovative designs. Think about phone companies adding a crazy new camera lens to their flagship smartphone rather than just making the phone cheaper. That's non-price competition in action.
Bringing it all together, the empowered consumer, your economic influence.
Ultimately, you are a powerful consumer, and your choices absolutely encourage competition.
It's so important to remember that every single purchase you make, whether it's just grabbing a pack of gum or dropping cash on a major tech upgrade, acts as a vote. You are constantly sending signals to producers, telling them exactly what they should make, how they should innovate, and how they should be pricing their goods.
So, the big question remains, what will your purchasing decisions influence next? The next time you're standing in an aisle or clicking Add to Cart, take a second to consider the producers behind the product, the competitive landscape they're in, and the real market power that you wield. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep analyzing the world around you, and I'll catch you next time.